Dr. Imtiaz Ahmed, Department of International Relations, University of Dhaka, to take their seats on the podium. May I request all the distinguished guests to take their seat, please. Former High Commissioners of India and Bangladesh and to bring them under a single platform to share their mutual experiences. A trip down the memory lane, if we may call it so. This would be a platform for better understanding of the past and shed lights upon how to carry forward in resolving bilateral issues between India and Bangladesh. May I now have the privilege to invite the summit coordinator, Professor Dr. Imtiaz Ahmed, Department of International Relations, University of Dhaka, to give his opening remarks.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Chief Guest, the Guest of Honor, the Chair of the Department, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess some of my students sitting there. Well, this is a historic moment. Not only a summit of its kind is being held for the first time in the history of the two countries, but the very fact that almost all the former High Commissioners of India to Bangladesh and Bangladesh's High Commissioner to India are sitting together under one roof and will be deliberating in next 2 days indeed could prove to be intellectually illuminating, and I dare say could succeed in carving a place in history. The second part is also to influence policy, because you cannot have theory without praxis. Neither can you have praxis without theory. If you can keep that dialectic in mind, there's no doubt, in fact, one of the objectives would be to influence policies. Now, those who have come to this summit, in fact, to speak, are no longer in the government, so to say. They are less tied up, let's put it that way, less compulsions, in fact. The mind and the hands are much freer, in fact, to think and to deliberate, in fact. And our hope will be that they will, in fact, contribute to the policies, have inherent political rights. And if those rights are not guaranteed, then there will be conflict and revolution. Centuries later, other philosophers came, John Stuart Mill, Karl Marx. They came and they said, humans are also homo economicus. They're also economic beings. Now let me end by saying, and as I, taking cue from Hugo, only humans can change things. If that is the case, then one can easily see that each and every person sitting in this room has a role to play in changing things. Let the deliberation begin with the objective of creating history. Indeed, a life and living of a kind in this part of the world that would add to the civilizational quest of the humans. Thank you very much.
Present the guest to the Chief Guest, His Excellency Mr. Abul Hassan Mahmoud Ali, Member of the Parliament and Foreign Minister, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. To present the guest to the Honorable Guest of Honor, Professor AAMS Arthur Siddiq, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University of Dhaka. May I now invite the guest of honor, Professor Dr. A.A.M.S. Siddiq, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University of Dhaka.
Today's chief guest, Honorable Foreign Minister of Bangladesh, Mr. A.H. Mahmood Ali, Professor Ashika Shah, Chairperson, Department of International Relations, University of Dhaka, Professor Imtiaz Ahmed, Professor, Department of International Relations, University of Dhaka, and coordinator of today's summit. Excellencies, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. Shubha Shubha. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you to the lush green campus of Dhaka University for this unique, innovative summit of former envoys who have worked towards building bridges between two neighboring nations of South Asia. The diplomats who were stationed in Dhaka and their counterparts who worked in Delhi had one thing in common: strengthening the bond between Bangladesh and India, with particular focus on issues of mutual interest. Working at different junctures of history, these initiatives have gained an understanding of the other. The summit of the High Commissioners therefore promises to be an exciting platform in which participants will apply themselves and suggest the most efficient ways of implementing ideas based on the shared memory and experience. They can offer solutions for some unresolved issues related both to these countries and to the whole region. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope the envoys who have come here will be candid in their expressions so that the present generation and the would-be diplomats and policymakers will find realistic guidelines for the future. They will create a discourse in which the people-to-people contact between the two countries will be given due emphasis alongside state-to-state diplomacy. The recent cooperation extended by the Modi government ushers in new possibilities for both the governments. Our civil servants must be prepared to make the best use of the high-level political gestures. A summit of this nature can generate ideas which I am sure will trickle down to the level of policymakers and civil servants. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude my speech with a quotation from Bangabandhu's address, which he delivered 42 years ago on 6th February 1972 in Kolkata. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank once again the organizers, Dhaka University Department of International Relations and India-Bangladesh Foundation for coming up with this wonderful idea of bringing together of the former High Commissioners. I thank the delegates for making themselves available for an academic get-together. I thank the audience for their patient hearing. I hope the summit will pick its desired summit of success. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time and attention. Long live Bangladesh-India friendship and relationship. Thank you.
May I now invite Chief Guest, His Excellency Mr. A.H. Mahmood Ali, Member of Parliament and Foreign Minister, Cabinet of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, to give his speech.
Professor Ashika Shah, Chair, Department of International Relations, Dhaka University, Professor A.M.S. Siddiq, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, Professor Imtiaz Ahmed, Coordinator of the first India-Bangladesh High Commissioner Summit, Excellencies, distinguished former High Commissioners of Bangladesh to India and of India to Bangladesh, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum, adab, and a very good morning to all of you. I am absolutely thrilled to be part of this brilliant and unique initiative that has brought together all the High Commissioners of Bangladesh to India and of India to Bangladesh in one meeting. I must thank the organizers, Professor Nabab and his colleagues in the Department of International Relations, University of Dhaka, and the Bangladesh-India Foundation for arranging today's event. As for me, I am honored and privileged to be in the midst of this stellar congregation of High Commissioners. Let me heartily welcome all the distinguished High Commissioners of Bangladesh and India, both former and incumbent, present here today. I personally know many of you and have had the privilege of working with some of you during my diplomatic career. Dear friends, the relations between Bangladesh and India have withstood the test of time. I believe that despite ups and downs in the past, the relationship has reached a point from where it can only blossom. There is no end to further strengthening of our relations. Our endeavor, as eloquently put by Prime Minister Modi in his letter to our Prime Minister, should be to, quote, take our relations to greater heights in future, unquote. As we so strive, High Commissioners, your valuable inputs and insights would be of great help. Our reward for working together would be achieving prosperous Bangladesh and India, free from hunger, poverty and deprivation, a goal that we all not only cherish for our posterity, but also see very much within our grasp. I once again convey my deep appreciation to the organizers for arranging this summit. I hope this will become a regular feature of our engagement. I thank you all. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu, long live Bangladesh-India friendship.
I now invite Professor Rashid Chairperson of International Relations, University of Dhaka, to deliver her vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Abul Hassan Mahmood, MB, Foreign Minister, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, and Guest of Honor, Professor A.A.S. Ahmed Siddiq, Professor Imtiaz Ahmed, Project Coordinator and Professor of the Department of International Relations, distinguished and honorable participants, High Commissioners of India and Bangladesh, my colleagues, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Shubha Shakal. I am proud and privileged to be here today as a part of the unique set of events that is unfolding. On behalf of the Department of International Relations, organizer of this unique forum, in association with the India-Bangladesh Foundation, I once again and wholly welcome the participants and as well as the guests to this program. This is the first of hopefully a series of such initiatives which will create a common platform for practitioners of diplomacy both from India and Bangladesh, where they will share their experience, ideas and visions with each other and those of others who are present. I also extend my thanks to Professor Arifin Siddiq, our Vice Chancellor, for consenting to be the guest of honor today. Professor Arifin has always encouraged the Department of IR in its various activities and initiatives, and I extend my heartfelt thanks to his and my felicitation. My congratulations goes to Professor Imtiaz Ahmed of the Department of International Relations, who has, through his thinking of alternatives, laid the foundation and done the groundwork for the summit. And I will not be accused of overstating if I say that today's event would not have been a possibility without him. I extend my gratitude to the High Commissioners who are from India and their Bangladeshi counterparts, and who are the focal points of interest today. And I thank them for accepting our invitation and agreeing to relive their past, analyze the present, and illuminate the future of the relations of the two close neighbors, India and Bangladesh. I must now mention my colleagues and the department, the student volunteers, my two young colleagues who are conducting today's ceremony for their cooperation and support, and those who have worked behind the scenes to make today a success. I wish this initiative increase every success, and I extend my best wishes. Thank you everybody, and Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.
Friends and students out there, let's begin session number 1. And I'm sure all of you have got the program, and you will see that the first session is lessons from the past. Let me just, certain procedures, let me highlight some of the procedures so that it will help you, particularly after the deliberations of the first 6 speakers. When you entered the room, I'm sure you were handed over a piece of paper. If you want to raise questions, please do write the questions in fact, or say you want to, and if you can send the names to this table, that would be great. We need a little bit of controlling on that so that we can have all the, those who want to participate, we can have all of them in fact. I also will request you to limit yourself once you are given the floor. But let me start session number 1, which is lessons from the past. Here we will have 6 speakers. Each of them have already been requested to limit their presentation in 7 to 8 minutes or something, so that after all of them have spoken, we will have enough interactions, and they definitely can come back. Even those who are not speaking in the first section can also intervene and get into the discussion, when the floor will be open. Well, let me have the honor to invite the first speaker, High Commissioner Muskan Dubey, person with whom I worked in fact. If you remember, in this very hall we had the 150th birth century of birth anniversary of Tagore, and Professor Dubey and Ambassador Dinasitri and myself, we also co-edited a volume contemporizing Tagore. I'm not sure whether the UPL has got the book outside, but if they have, probably you can have a look. So let me have the honor to invite the first speaker of the first session, Lessons from the Past, High Commissioner Muskan Dubey. Sir, it's your floor.
Professor Imtiaz Ahmad, my distinguished colleagues, the former High Commissioners of Bangladesh to India, my colleagues on the Indian side, teachers and students of the university, and other participants here. I think it is a unique gathering that Mr. Imtiaz Ahmad has assembled, and it is therefore a unique privilege to be a part of this great venture. And I think if we go on repeating, the problems that have been coming on between our countries over the last few years, the entire effort would go in vain, and we would be vindicated if our participation in this gathering can really give a new impetus and momentum to our relationship. If you look at Indo-Bangladesh relations today, my own assessment, and I hope that most of you, all of you, may agree with that, is that it is in a very good condition today. The problems which really militate against trust and confidence are those which relate to a nation's security. And fortunately, that problem doesn't exist between the two countries today. Embracing climate change, environmental problems, management of water, both domestically and through cooperation, I think that's a big challenge, and there is a very important need for institutions there. So I think that during the time given to me, this is all that I would like to say.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Dubey. Now I have the honor to invite the next speaker in this particular session, Commissioner Chowdhury.
Thank you very much. It makes an invaluable frame of reference for future action. True, success does not entail not making mistakes. This is usually received wisdom. But it certainly lies in not making the same ones several times. That is where old and tried hands like ours come into play. That is where age and experience can make a modest contribution. Before I commence my substantive remarks, I believe it is in order for me to comment on the measures of this event, in particular for the entire number, for what wonderful work they have done, their efforts to achieve leaders in the subject of diplomacy and international relations, initially for publication and practitioner, and therefore, thereafter, as an analyst, have left with some takeaways, which are also lessons learned. One is that foreign policy is not simply the preserve of the governments and the stakeholders include other actors beyond, such as the intelligence, civil society, and the British community. This was not the case in the past. Foreign policy in our times was mostly a function of bureaucratic politics. On both sides of the border in their divide, with the individual ministries often involved in turn wars and forever competing one another for the other, for the master of the masters. Second, there is an absolute necessity to devise a mechanism where the policy makers and the stakeholders should interact with one another to arrive, if possible, at the national consensus. We see this happening everywhere across the common world. Undoubtedly, it is still relevant in the case of Bangladesh and India. If cooperation will be built, because a large number of smaller issues, it depends on larger and more sensitive issues, we will narrow. This is the lesson we derive not just from bilateral relations in the past, but also from the experience of other regions in the world, like Europe. Luckily, India and Bangladesh have very vibrant civil societies. They should be best in the service of bilateral relations. I suggest for every issue we set up a group of eminent persons. Thereafter, we associate representatives of the government into the group. For deliberations from the government into the deliberations. Finally, we involve the leadership in other progressively we work on track 2 to track 1.5 to track 1, leading to us at summit. I have every confidence in the deep commitment and peaceful progress of the two leaders, Sheikh Hasina and Nawab. We must work together with them to develop the way to reach our goal. And the Chinese scholar Lu Xun said, "Hope is like a path in a forest. Originally there was no path, but as people are walking all the time in the same place, in gray appears. I should like the end
Thank you, Commissioner, for coming, Jyoti. Before I call upon the next speaker, there's a small announcement. Tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. there will be a meet the press. Meet the press with all the High Commissioners. So the media people who are here, I just want to inform you, you are not going to get any separate letters from that. This is the announcement that I'm making. The meet the press will be tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Now we have the honor to call upon the next speaker, in fact, High Commissioner Bhaban.
Thank you, Chair. I too would like to begin by thanking Dhaka University and you for what is certainly a unique initiative. As a veteran of some 50 or so Indo-Bangladesh dialogues, I don't recall a dialogue where we have seen so many distinguished Indian diplomats. I would, with their permission, refer to them as the A-team. It includes fast bowlers, spin bowlers, and wicketers. And it would be a pleasure to listen to the equivalent of, in diplomatic terms, of Chowdhury and Rahul Dravid and many other distinguished cricketers. So we have listened to the previous speakers. I will just focus on what I consider to be 3 or 4 key issues in terms of looking back, what lessons have we learned, and what can we therefore look forward to in the future. I would like to, as it were, speak under the heading of 3 very important captions. One is trust and confidence. And that's really been, as we all know, a big problem in the past. The 2 heads meet, their agreements are signed. I think it is equally important that when the 2 heads meet, they should review progress and work on what has been agreed. And if there are bottlenecks, then those bottlenecks are addressed. And I think it's important that they talk to the people and to the media and make them understand what the opportunities are and where progress is being made. I'd like to conclude by thanking you again, Imtiaz, for this initiative. This is the first, I hope, of many more such summits. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Bhaban. Now I have the honor to invite High Commissioner I.S. Chara to the
and in this wonderful academic session here on the University of Dhaka. I would also like to pay a warm tribute to you for setting all the agenda very ably in your introductory remarks. As I told you before we began this session, you spoke like a true professional academician, and I hope that we are a little better than just academic practitioners. I'm lucky to be the second or third or fourth speaker. My friends and those who have spoken before me have ably charted reports for the future. Their suggestions for intensifying and strengthening relations between these 2 countries. And I would have detailed comments, but I will save them when we come to our next future sessions when we discuss those issues in detail. For the time being, as the agenda item demands, I will confine myself to 3 specific lessons which I believe we can learn from the past. Number 1, the need for the manifestation of political will. But in both countries, there is a desire that has been manifested at a highly political level to move forward on bilateral front. And I can only conclude by wishing them every success. And I end by again quoting you about the need for the close interaction or connection between practice and theory. I believe, or I hope I was, a practicing diplomat for 25 years of my professional career. Now I live in an academic world of Punjab University, and I often have to interact with academicians, and I have to face remarks like this, and they are political scientists and they are economists, and the political scientists sometimes tell me, oh, this is all very well in practice, it will never work in theory. And we have all heard of the finance minister who told his officers that I want an advisor who has only one arm. He said, why? He said, every time I ask for advice, he said, on the one hand, you can do this, and on the other hand, you can do that. So there is this gap between practice and theory which we have to close. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Chada. Let me now have the honor to invite the next speaker, High Commissioner C.M. Shafi-Sami.
Friends and brothers and friends, I seek Professor India's instruction to express a word of sympathy with these students. Ideology is a very hard taskmaster. This is the case for sure. Only 7 minutes to speak about lessons we have learned over a period of more than 4 decades. He seems to ignore the God 7 days, including a day of rest, to create the universe. Nonetheless, it is a difficult task, and I will try to respect the time limit, and I hope my time limit. South Asia is generally seen as a region of low-intensity. A welcome exception to this low-intensity cooperation came in the context of bilateral relations between Bangladesh. I hope if we are able to internalize these experiences, these lessons, we may be able to nurture our relationship and provide further impetus for our relations to Pradesh, as Mr. Professor Chowdhury has mentioned. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Well, we have only one speaker left before we open up the floor for questions and answers. I will again request you, if you want to raise questions, please, I'm sure we've got a piece of paper. The help of the volunteers, if you could send them to me, then I would, in fact, in order to ask questions or comments. With that, the session will begin. So I have the last speaker of this particular session. The honor to invite now High Commissioner Al-Nushi. Please.
Thank you. The Department of International Relations really deserves our appreciation and commendation, especially Professor Imtiaz, who has such a gallery which I have never seen. And secondly, I know in the program I was given a title High Commissioner, which in fact I was Deputy High Commissioner in Calcutta 35 years ago. I think it is a diplomatic courtesy, because when we meet a foreigner, we say address him as a general. So it is one of those kinds of things that all diplomats always see. The glass is half full, but half empty. Therefore, I am not surprised that the flattering title why was given, because we are in a room mostly of the senior diplomats. Another reason is that being a last speaker, I have with almost all 11 speakers have covered almost all areas. And it's very difficult for me to add a new area in which I could say something. I think must be preoccupation of the political leaders of both sides. And finally, I see great hope. The peace, trust, confidence between the two countries is imperative for the peace, progress and prosperity of the peoples. Our common enemy is poverty. The poverty must be eliminated. How we can be eliminated? Through joint and progressive policies of both countries. And in that sense, it is an old idea, but it has not been activated. It is called sub-regional integration. Northern 7 states of India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh should be at the level of sub-regional economic integration, connectivity, so that this backward region of South Asia could be a hub of economic opportunities, investment, and it will make this region forward beyond the confines of South Asia. And another thing I want to say that when you have money in the pocket, then the insurgency is less. If people are, why there is insurgency? Why there is insurgency? Apart from the ideological, but main motivation of insurgency is to get justice and benefit from the system. So I feel that if the eastern hub of South Asia can be made the hub of opportunities through the BCIM, and I was wondering, BCIM last meeting was in December 13, and that should have been a second meeting in Chowdhury. The meeting did not take place. I do not know what are the impediments which have blocked this meeting in Chowdhury. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Rashid. Well, we have almost, well, 45 minutes actually, because there will be a prayer break. Today is Friday. What I'm going to do now is open the floor, and I have the names in fact. And if everybody has to speak, then probably it will take 3 hours or so.
Absolutely no individual, apart from the head of the government, can take any credit for the achievements in the bilateral relations. So that
Commissioner Bhaban, please.
Just to follow up on what Shaki just said, we seem to have forgotten that one of the very key elements in the conclusion of the Candidate Voter Treaty was to address the issue of augmentation in the future. And the key element in that was the idea that we would build a barrage on our side of the border to allow for dry season storage and augmentation. was being a joint endeavor. As I recall, the Indian side and the Bangladesh side were to work together to mobilize the resources to build this mega project. But that, as it were, went by the wayside. So once we did achieve one very important element, which was the signing of a long-term agreement, the issue of augmentation unfortunately went by the wayside. Let me focus on an issue which I think must be of interest to probably everyone in this hall, which is the issue of visas. One issue which certainly I tried to pursue, I would add with limited success, was the easing of visa restrictions and access to visas. I hope that this problem can be solved. We know that our friend, the Indian High Commissioner today, and his deputy, if he is here, has to face several calls in order to get visas for Bangladeshis. It's not easy getting this number on the computer, which is the key to getting an Indian visa. But I did achieve, long after I had retired, I got an important success, albeit for a very restricted minority, which was to get a SAT visa for retired secretaries. And I did this by the very simple device when we had the SAT summit here in Dhaka, to speak to the Indian and to the Pakistan foreign secretaries to say that you are both going to retire shortly. I don't suppose you would relish the thought of seeking a favor from your Pakistani or Indian counterpart, as the case might be, in requesting him to give you a visa. Wouldn't it be much simpler if we abolish the requirement, or rather provided for SAT visas for all former foreign secretaries for the rest of their lives? And we got this through. So yes, it has made my life a lot easier and simpler, and indeed it has saved me from bothering our friends across the table who otherwise would certainly have had to face the rather daunting task of giving visas to all former foreign secretaries who do visit India quite frequently. Thank you.
Commissioner, your secretary, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, of course, will keep my formal thanks and appreciation to you when I speak this afternoon. But right now, I just want to respond on a subject that has been raised by several questioners this morning, which actually is such a recurrent theme that it amazes me. And I would really request that Nabab University takes up actual research on this to set this question at rest once and for all. And that is this question about anemia and the question that Bangladesh channels are not allowed to be shown in India. Through Bangladesh, through East Pakistan, or any mode of transport between India, West Bengal, or northeastern states. In 1965, the government of Pakistan took this decision. And it really amazes me that in 2014, this decision is being lauded as a correct decision and something that should be preserved. Why is the Pakistani mindset still here? Shouldn't we all ask ourselves this question? And let me tell you, I think that the Bangladesh film industry will flourish and do very well, despite Indian film being shown here. We have Tollywood, we have Calcutta, Hollywood, the biggest world film industry, and every other country has its own film industry. Iran has its own film, Italy has, Turkey has. Every country should be proud of their own culture and their own ability, that their culture is strong enough to stand up against any cultural invasion. It may be from India, it may be from America, it may be from Europe, but of course your culture is so strong. When Pakistan put a ban on sale of the Dhaka in East Pakistan, all of you rose up against it and reversed it, and you're very proud. We are free in India and Bangladesh, we share the heritage of Rabindra Sangeet. But why not Indian cinema? Why not transit? So I really think we need to talk about this. And I think as an academic institution, in the Senate Bhaban of Dhaka University where we are, we need to look at this very seriously. Because this is it's a mindset issue. And what is taught in an academic institution has a crucial impact on mindset. Now, if an academic institution like Dhaka University, the best, Oxford of the East, the most prestigious academic institution of Bangladesh, is going to perpetuate this mindset, what hope is there for the rest of us out there? So this is the issue that I'd like to talk on this issue right now, but there are many others that I will raise in the afternoon, including my own achievements in this one. Thank you very much. Am I the right of reply? Is that the right of reply?
Oh, Ambassador, don't be so.
No, I was asking. Any question?
No, you just made some comments. I thought that, actually add to what you have said, and particularly to highlight our perspective as well, so that, the actual state is clarified. First of all, Ambassador CP has been too simplistic. But I was also involved with this issue when I was High Commissioner in Delhi. In fact, the issue of Bangladesh TV channels not being seen in India, or in Delhi at least, I was there, is that I am a witness to myself, because I couldn't see the High Commission.
But it's not showing nothing.
Let me finish, madam. Let me keep my information. So what we did was, at that point in time, there was a proposal from Taliban that they wanted to telecast their shows in Bangladesh. And there was, at that time, the question came up that they don't know what should be.
And also the University of Dhaka and the India-Bangladesh Foundation. I trust it will lead to some conclusions which may be helpful both in understanding issues and perhaps in suggesting way forward to our respective governments. I have only one comment to make, is that I wish the seeking had not been in this manner. We can some past behind us go for the better future.
Truly hard to follow when you have to speak after so many High Commissioners have spoken, many of whom have been our mentors in many ways. And I think I was wondering outside as to where I should begin. Finally, I think it's great to be back in Dhaka to meet old friends. And India, thank you very much for inviting me. And I would like to thank the High Commissioner and the High Commissioner, both the High Commissioners. We are very sad to see that you.
And those who do not are better off. So I abided by your instruction of 7 minutes. and so I am taking the floor just to compensate for the time that was not given to me. But I can assure you that at this late hour, sorry for this long thing, but I thought I would go there.
Thank you. Yes. Let me take the last 2 questions, 3 I think as well.
Of our political history should be projected. And maybe that to do, one way of doing that is to say, project each other's leaders or personalities in our textbooks.
With Ambassador Chowdhury is all the points made by him. I just, if there was a little confusion in what I said about sub-regional cooperation, I just want to emphasize that sub-regional cooperation is not meant to be a substitute for bilateralism. But it cannot happen without bilateral relations coming to a certain stage. And that opens up the sub-regional sphere, which again reinforces the different sets of bilateral. So they are not mutually exclusive, but they help to enrich each other and they help create the grounds for the synergy between them.
Very interesting question. Well, I can't tell you what is India's position because I don't keep in touch with them. But it is my personal view that more and more we should refer differences and dispute and issues of sensitive nature to a method of automatic legal solution or solution on the basis of rights. And I adhere to that point of view, so far personally I'm concerned. And this was demonstrated by this judgment. Second thing is that third party, my dear friend, is an entirely different thing. I have dealt long with the third party and I know what they are. I mean, third parties from the Western countries, third parties, World Bank and the IMF, and I don't have to tell you the whole world of literature, library of literature is here, how they have influenced things, how they have tried to interfere in their own interest without caring for the interest of the two parties involved. And I have not changed my views towards the fund and the bank. You know, I mean, one of the earliest books written on the operations of the bank was by Teresa Hacker, and under the title called Aid as an Imperialism. And she was the representative in Latin America, and she presented a report on her views on Latin America. They suppressed it, and then she resigned from the bank, and she got it published as a book. So, you know, this is the, I mean, how do you trust those third parties? If you put me as, I have been in the UN system 5 years inside, and perhaps 20 years from outside, and my colleagues believe that I have wasted my career in the foreign service. And I know what they are. I know, you know, what is their interest in developing countries. So don't ask me to commit on accepting third parties in general. But automatic solution, certainly, I am of the view. And our relationship has matured enough for us to resort to that.
Thank you. There were one or two hands from my colleagues, young colleagues, but my young colleagues will be there in the closed session, so you will get a chance to speak directly tomorrow. Just before I conclude, let me just give you a little bit of what is going to be tomorrow. It will be closed though. There will be no media in the hall. It's not going to be in this room. It's going to be in the conference hall in the Senate building room, the same building, but in a separate room. And it will be limited to the High Commissioners and to the faculty members and a few who want to, who have requested to come. But they probably would just be listeners. You have already, the agenda is with you. As you will leave today, you will get a draft Dhaka declaration. This is my young faculty members, they have dropped it down. Tomorrow we will decide whether we are going to go for it or not. It's a draft, in fact. You can delete it, you can add it, you can subtract whatever you like. Have a look at it, in fact. It can be done, tomorrow. But we thought one idea at the end of this two-day summit, if we can get a declaration out, would be nice. And some of the points that were flagged earlier through email are already there inside. And some of those flagged today are also included. So please have a look, and maybe after the cultural event tonight, maybe you can have a look and have some freshness after a long day. I understand it's a long day, but tomorrow we'll decide whether we're going to have it or not. Anyway, thank you very much. Let's wind up today with a big clap.